you filthy swines! Get in here, sit down. We're going to do this. We're going to read some news. Yeah, once upon a time, there used to be all sorts of different hominid species. We talk about Neanderthals as being a cousin species. I think ginger people are supposed to be the remnants of Neanderthals. So if you have some ginger in you, be interbred with them, and I do, I must be part Neanderthal maybe. And one of the things I find most interesting about cryptids like Bigfoot is the possibility that there are still species out there, cousin species, different forms of hominid that might be extant out there. Anyway, this article, which should cover this subject, we'll see on IFL Science. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I think there might be a sweary word in the F. An article written by Rachel Funnell. What's behind the Florida skunk ape sightings? A black bear or something else? It looked like a man, but completely covered in hair. It could just be a Florida man, a very hairy Florida man. In July 8th, 2000, David Shealy captured a creature on camera he had been tracking for decades, the Florida skunk ape. Few believe the state's answer to Bigfoot existed, but here it was out walking in the swamp. Shealy first saw the skunk ape when he was about 10 years old. It looked like a man, but completely covered with hair, he told Smithsonian Magazine. He's since become a self-proclaimed expert in the field. But beyond a grainy video admittedly filmed before regrettable rise of AI-generated imagery, what evidence is there that the Florida skunk ape exists? I mean, could he not have just filmed some homeless dude wading through a swamp? I don't know, we've got a video here. Florida skunk ape sightings. In 1971, Fort Lauderdale News ran a segment called Giant Skunk Ape Claims to Live in Big Cypress. The report gives an account from amateur archaeologist H.C. Osborne, who saw the creature whilst walking with friends. He described it as 2 meters, 7 feet tall, and weighing 318 kilograms. How would you know its weight? Did you run up and try and lift it? It's no secret that body mass index is a lousy metric, but that would give the skunk ape a life-shortening score of around 70. Were it as human-like as everyone says? Still, it's curious that Osborne should give the same approximate height as another person who claimed to have seen Sasquatch in Gainesville, Florida, 8 years earlier. Repeated descriptions of the skunk ape suggests it's very tall with shaggy hair all over its body, and smells so bad it was known by scent alone to trappers in the 1920s. Osborne even claims to have found prints that he made plaster casts of, showing the mysterious animal to have a 44.5 centimeters, 17.5 inches long, and 29.2 centimeters, 11.5 inches wide. Bigfoot indeed. Bigfoot or a big bear. It's probably a bear, but you never know. The phenomenon of pareidolia teaches us that humans are primed to see human-like things. Belief in the paranormal has also been associated with a certain condition like ADHD and depression, but were we to extend to these sightings the assumption that these people were indeed seeing something, what could it have been? One suggestion is that what they were actually seeing was a Florida black bear. As the state's largest land mammal, they occupy all of Florida mainland and, curiously, can reach around 2 meters long as adults. If you need convincing that a bear could be mistaken for a human, might I direct you towards these uncanny, playful bears that I think we can all agree look like 2 blokes in bear suits. Or maybe they are. And anyway, it would hardly be the weirdest case of mistaken identity. After all, there's a theory that Scotland's Loch Ness Monster was just a few super eels. But the footage, I hear you cry, doesn't Shealy have the Florida skunk ape made? Well, while it's surely a real piece of footage, we can only be as confident that the creature on the screen is the skunk ape as we can be sure that a gorilla was once on board the International Space Station. Until we capture something in the way of a skunk ape DNA, or better yet, an actual skunk ape, Florida's Bigfoot can likely join other legends that fall under the banner of cryptozoology. Still, the repeated sightings raise the interesting question about what we humans can believe we've seen in a time when seeing is no longer believing. Just ask magicians. Not musicians, no, magicians. Dave Shealy's 2000 skunk ape footage. Brace yourselves, we're going to watch this. It might be good, it might not, but we shall see. Oh, there's no audio. Okay. So there's an ape there. There's some kind of... Is it an ape? I don't know. It's a It's a blurry black silhouette-y thing. 2000, so it's pretty sketchy. Looks to be an old magnetic tape. Florida's not exactly a giant state. How many of these things could you fit in Florida without people seeing them? I mean, you could say that people could see a bear and mistake it for a Sasquatch, but it's probably more likely to be the other way around, isn't it? Let's pretend these things exist. If you saw one and your bias was, that's got to be a bear, then you're more likely to see a bear, surely. Well, that probably is a dude in an ape suit. What do you reckon? There it goes. Who knows what that is? Is it getting closer? It's getting bloody closer. Oh no. More frightening stuff. Quite a few, I'd imagine. You need a mama. You need a mama squatch and a daddy squatch to make baby squatches. You need a town of squatches for them to kind of stick around, wouldn't you? You need quite a few. You need at least a village of squatches. A squatchy village would be required for there to be any decent population of squatches. And how are they evading being spotted? I have no idea. But I like to think it's true. I think it's probably more likely that these things, if they do exist, they might exist in like Canada and other states. Florida's a pretty populated state, is it not? How many people live in Florida? I don't know. But I want to know more. I would like to know more about all of these kinds of cryptids, specifically the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, abominable snowmen, and all that stuff. Because imagine a situation where, let's pretend these things are real. Some governments have discovered them and they're small populations scattered here and there. If they're so hard to spot, they may well be quite endangered. So trying to seed disinformation and make sure that people don't actually take these things seriously and don't actually go out and look for them would be beneficial to these populations. There definitely used to be creatures like this. I think there was an ancient species of hominid called Australopithecus that looked very much like a Bigfoot, I think with a smaller head. Effectively the same thing though. I mean, it could just, if you imagine a dude, a big muscly dude, get Arnold Schwarzenegger and cover the dude in fur or lots of hair, and you've got Sasquatch basically. So it could just be a very close relative to humanity, and who knows. Interesting stuff though. But that is it for now. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you like what I do. I do it as often as I can. But the only thing I have left to say now is Pigwig out.
Oink, oinkity, snort, snuffle, snuffle, squee, oink, oink, wee, squeal, snort, snort, oink, kitty, squee. Oink, 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 squee, squee, wee, 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 snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, 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 wee, 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 oh. Snort, snuffle, oink, squee, squeal, wee, snort, oinky, oinkity, oink, oink, snuffle, wee, squee, snort, oink, squeal. Oink, 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 squee, squee, wee, 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 snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, 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 wee, 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 oh. Oink, oinkity, snort, snuffle, snuffle, squee, oinkity, oink, oink, snuffle, wee, squee, snort, oink, squeal. Oink, 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 squee, squee, wee, 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 snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, 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 wee, 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 oh. Squeal, squeal. Snort, snuffle, oink, re, squeal, re, snort, oinky, oinkity, oink, 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 snuffle, re, squee, snort, oink, squeal, oink, oink, oinkity, squee, squee, re, 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 snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, 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 oink.